Better than ATACMS. First Ukrainian ballistic missiles have already passed all tests and ready to surprise the enemy. Ukraine has deployed drones interceptors in the Middle East. What role Ukrainian technologies play in global security? In our story for you. Trump has eased sanctions on Russian oil, while Putin helps the Iranian regime to kill Americans. Ukrainian forces clear nearly all of the Dnipro Oblast of Russian troops, as confirmed by Oleksandr Komarenko, head of the main operational directorate of Ukraine's General Staff. He added, thanks to active operations in February, an obvious positive trend is observed, and way more territory has been liberated than lost. According to Komarenko, 3 small settlements in Dnipro Oblast remain to be secured, and 2 more to be cleared. Moreover, as per Komarenko, Ukraine is preparing something that Russian troops do not expect.
If we do not take the initiative, but instead simply fight back, we will be finished off sooner or later. Therefore, separate actions are planned that will force the enemy to change his plans and act in a way that he did not plan. And these will not necessarily be direct military actions. We are also planning asymmetric ones. There will be something that they does not expect. Oleksandr Komarenko, head of the main operational directorate of Ukraine's General Staff, in an interview with RBC Ukraine.
ATACMS, but better. First Ukrainian ballistic missiles have already passed all tests and stand ready for combat use, says co-founder of a Firepoint, Denys Shtilierman, in an interview with Army TV. Shtilierman reveals details. There are 2 types of Ukrainian ballistics, FP7 and FP9. Both are ATACMS alike, but better and cheaper. Both types are expected to be launched from mobile launchers disguised as ordinary trucks, making them difficult to detect. The combat deployment of the system could take as much as 15 minutes. Mr. Shtilierman notes that while FP7 has been fully tested and is capable of destroying targets within a radius of several hundred kilometers, the bigger brother, FP9, is expected to have even longer range. Its operation radius is 800 kilometers, and it can reach Moscow. Preparations for tests of the FP9 missile are already underway.
We will test it on our neighbors. There will have already been use in combat. This will be an analog of ATACMS, possibly even with a larger warhead, but it will cost at least twice less.
Ukraine has deployed drones interceptors and a team of experts to assist in the protection of U.S. military bases in Jordan, as confirmed by President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Ukrainian military's expertise in defending against Shahed drones and missile strikes is becoming highly demanded. Ukraine is not only defending itself against Russian aggression, but is also sharing technologies and practical solutions with partners worldwide. Because, frankly speaking, Russia and Iran are 2 different sides of one global coin, terrorism, and are closely connected regimes. The following story reveals and highlights how Ukrainian miltech and actual battlefield experience are evolving into a critical element of global security. Enjoy.
Ukraine has sent interceptor drones and a group of UAV experts to protect American military bases in Jordan, stated President Volodymyr Zelensky in an interview with the New York Times. The Institute for the Study of War notes that Ukraine has accumulated unique experience in countering Iranian kamikaze drones. During the war, Ukrainian military personnel have systematized the knowledge gained and implemented it in practice, knowledge that is now needed by European partners and countries of the Middle East.
As of now, there are 11 requests from countries neighboring Iran, European states, and the U.S. There is clear interest in Ukraine's experience in protecting lives, relevant interceptors, electronic warfare systems, and training. Ukraine is ready to respond positively to requests from those who help us protect the lives of Ukrainians and the independence of Ukraine. Some requests have already been met with concrete decisions and specific support. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine, on X.
In the first days after the start of the U.S.-Israeli operation in Iran, Ukraine received calls from the leaders of Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, asking for help, stated Volodymyr Zelensky. Kiev agreed to help in exchange for diplomatic support to force Russia into a ceasefire. It also offered Ukrainian interceptor drones in exchange for more powerful systems needed by Ukraine to counter Russian ballistic missiles.
This process of interaction uses the quid pro quo format. You give us something, we give you something. It will only develop further. Everyone sees how we fight. Everyone sees that we have been fighting for more than 4 years. Everyone sees how we quickly sometimes find even original solutions to certain Russian military tricks. Ukraine's experience is priceless. Unfortunately, it came at a very high price, but objectively, it is priceless. And the situation in the Middle East has proven that the further we go, the more our defense industry will be in demand worldwide. I'm not even talking about Europe alone, but worldwide.
In fact, the fight against the Iranian regime and Ukraine's defense against Russian aggression are two theaters of the same war, stated the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine. The criminal regimes in Moscow and Tehran are interconnected. After all, they exchange experience, resources, technologies, and weapons. And they pose the same threat to Ukraine, Europe, the USA, and the Gulf states.
We expect the same realistic approach from our partners. Decisive actions are needed against common threats both in Ukraine and in the Gulf region. This is not a choice of either or. Strengthening the protection of lives on this global front strengthens the security of all. No weakening of restrictions against Iran's ally, Russia. On the contrary, pressure must increase. No pauses in support for Ukraine. This support is an investment that turns into common strength. Andriy Sybiha, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, on X.
Ukraine's experience in conducting modern warfare is becoming part of the international security system, analysts are convinced. From countering drones to developing defense technologies, Kyiv acts not only as a recipient of aid, but also as a partner capable of sharing unique solutions. Reported by Karina Lalayan, UATV News.
I had a hard time finding a soft way to phrase it for you, so I'll put it as it is. While Russia is helping Iran to kill American soldiers, Donald Trump rewards Russia by easing oil sanctions.
We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed.
We know that it is all about the shipping through the Strait of Hormuz off the Iranian coast, which is as of today down 90% because of the war. The near-complete shutdown affects around 20% of the world's maritime gas and around 25% oil. And so last week, amidst the surge in oil prices from the U.S.-Israel war on Iran, the American administration gave a 30-day sanctions waiver to India, Moscow's second-largest customer, over its imports of Russian oil. Furthermore, Trump also gushed about the one-hour-long conversation with Putin. "We were talking about Ukraine," Trump said, "which is just a never-ending fight. But I think it was a positive call on that subject." Putin's foreign affairs advisor Yuri Ushakov described the talk as frank and businesslike. Killing is Putin's business, and business is good. So what if Russia helps Iran to kill Americans? Those Americans still alive. They do not want their petrol prices to soar, right? And so a new great beautiful deal is looming on the horizon of Middle East events. And Putin is eager to do that business, not only with the US, but also Europeans. Just quoting the dictator, he just wants some signal, like Trump once sent, remember? By turning off intel sharing for Ukraine, something like that. So as soon as Putin has that signal from the EU to confirm they are willing to work with him and help him to kill more Americans in Iran and Ukrainians in Ukraine, well then, says Putin, he will, I quote the Russian Tsar, ensure stability and reliability. The only thing left, to sort some things out, but that's nothing. Putin knows a man experienced enough.
But, you know, they've said this about a lot of things. No other president could do some of this shit I'm doing. No other president. The things I'm doing, nobody else was going to do it. They say it all the time, sir, could you do this? You're the only one can do it.
That's it for today. Stay informed, subscribe to our channel, and tell us what you think about today's stories in the comments. See you in the next News Digest.